I almost forgot. Oh my God, to press recording. Hi, everyone. Good morning, aloha, evening, whatever you are in the world. If you're going to watch that later on or right now, welcome to I'm Ready webinar, where we're going to talk about a lot of different questions and think about women health, nutrition, spirituality, power, connection between your food and your energy. And the things that are actually usually I never touch on. So I felt like I step into the next step of my kind of like a holistic approach to food. And I really want to share that with my followers, with you guys, with my clients, because it's not only about how macronutrients you eat. It's not only about what do you eat. It's not only about the workout. Everything starts here in your mind and everything ends there in your mind, right? So a lot of the time I see that you guys are struggle, and this is not because of you don't know how to eat or you don't know how to work out, right? It's emotional struggle. It's something going on inside that we have to address before we even get into healthy eating and the workouts, because everything is connected, right? Mind body connection. And if we're missing this piece, I can give you a workout plan, I can give you a nutrition plan, but if you don't have a strong why you do it, if you don't have mind connection to loving yourself fully, so it's going to be really hard to stick with. That's why we all get through the rounds of diets, of strange food relationship, overeating, some food disorders, because we have something in here that are not addressed. So a lot of the time people go to nutritionists, to me, right, was like asking for an advice for nutrition, diet, for plan. And I am like, I feel empowered to give you that plan, but I have to make sure that you have clear the inside, right? That you have a clear why you wanted to follow that plan, that you wanted to change for some specific reasons. Of course, we're going to talk about plant-based too, right? Because I truly believe that's the best way of eating right now on this planet. But I wanted to start on from this point because I really want to address that. And this is only kind of a safe space, I believe, that I created here. And this webinar is mostly females that sign up. So I absolutely love to talk about that. And I think we can start it just by simply me sharing my screen. So you'll see, guys, a simple points that I kind of prepare for you. But before I get to do it, just to let you know, because some people are who are gonna watch that or already are here with me are not know me yet, right? Some of you are my clients, but who don't know me and who are the first time kind of in touch with me. I'm a plant-based nutritionist specialized in vegan diets. I'm a holistic wellness coach and a bodybuilder. I actually don't compete for 2 years in a row right now, but I focus on helping people right now really badly. This is my passion and this is my true purpose. How hard to find in life purpose, right? I'm so happy I did find mine. I wish you did the same. And if you are here with me, give me some high five or something in the chat, because I see only Sophia did. So please do that. And let me start sharing my slide with you guys. It's not going to be all slides because I don't want it to be boring, right? But at least something we're going to see today to visualize what we're talking about. So I'm sharing my screen now. Okay. Let me do a slideshow here. Okay, if you can't see my screen and you still see my face right here, give some high five or thumbs up in the chat. So I will make sure you are here with me and you are seeing it. Perfect. Okay. So as I said, I already introduced myself. Today, we're going to touch on some of the important things like why and what truly means to embrace your inner self, self-love and self-acceptance, because this is the topic that is most of the times are not talked about enough. We have to remember that before we start any changes from outside, there has to be a self-love, right? There has to be a clear, nice self-talk, making sure that we are loving ourselves from inside. Have more people to connecting. I'm going to add them slowly. So I want to talk about that today for sure, about self-love, why we should self-love before we even start to changing the diet. Because I can give you like really like a 5 from 5 examples that females coming to me, they want to change. I clearly change them. I help them, they lose weight, they look absolutely amazing. But because they don't love themselves truly, they don't appreciate that. They don't see it. Like you can have check-ins with me and get the results, and I can see it, but you are not seeing it just because you are not truly in love with yourself. And whatever you do in this point is not going to be good enough for you, right? So we have to talk about that and start with the self-love. We're also going to mention on some of the things why I recommend to stick with the plants. We're going to talk about why proteins is important and how to get the most of it from the plants. I also want to mention on some of the energy, and then what's the food is magnetic and what's the food are not really. We're also going to, of course, talk about digestion and fiber, and we're going to mention here talk about how to eat what you love and become who you want to be, right? We all want to do that. We all want to keep doing the same thing. And it's possible to eat what you love, not doing the same thing. This is bad. We want it to grow. We want it to evolve, right? We don't want to do all over and over like zombies. I call those people zombies. I'm sorry, but they are like, people who never question anything in themselves. I know you're not like that because you're here, because you're with me on this webinar. I'm sure you are question a lot of things. So let's get into it. So I'm gonna start with the first one, stop sharing my screen and just talk about self-love with you. This has been a struggle for many females, especially. Not saying the men is not struggling with a self-love or self-doubts, but they not express that as much. And also, we as a females, we are just more emotional species. We are tend to really take hard on ourselves. And I absolutely recommend you to practice positive self-talk, right? Start small. If you are catching up yourself on thinking, not even saying, thinking something bad about yourself, how to identify, that's an important thing, how to identify this is bad or good thing that I'm thinking about myself. So I want you to clearly separate two things that you can say about yourself, either about others. One is beneficial for you because is a medicine. It's going to give you something. Either it's inspiration, is it support, it's going to just heal you. And the other things are like distracting, things that are gonna get you in a bad mood, things that doesn't feel good. And you can feel it inside of your heart. Your heart is actually the most powerful organ in our body. Heart is about 60 times stronger than whole your body if you just look in the heart themselves, right? So you can feel it with your heart if something are get wrong. So when you just cut yourself on that things that they're not medicine to you, that you think about something about yourself or you say something about yourself and this is get me into the bad mood, this is distracting, stop immediately. Pour into love, pour into, yes, I'm not perfect, but that's why I am beautiful. I am not perfect, that's why I am unique, right? So ask yourself every time when you wanted to think about something about yourself or say about, like, is it medicine? Is it helping me? And it's going to be simple as identifying your progress, right? Let's say you start that workout plan, you started healthy eating with me or with any other coach, and you like, I don't see the results. Stop yourself there. Ask yourself, is going to benefit me? That I am doing that thing right now and saying that I have a coach for that. I have someone who I will tell me if I'm doing something wrong. What will benefit me is saying to myself, I did so good. I keep that meal plan. I keep the workout going on. I never give up, even if it was hard, or even if I mess up, I step back into the plan, right? And seeing these positive things are really going to benefit you. Trust me, there's so many people out there who are going to tell you the wrong things, the bad things, the things that are you're not good enough on. So just remember, true self-love is start inside, and no one, either a nutritionist, health coach, wellness coach, a trainer, like psychologist, whoever you go, will not going to help you to love yourself truly. This is starts from inside. So before outside changes, self-love, self-discovery. You are unique in the way you are. So I want you to love yourself in the way you are right now, even though it's maybe not perfect and you're trying to get better in things. But you have to accept and love the way you are right now before the outside change is going to happen. Because if you hate the way you look, if you hate the way you behave, if you don't like yourself for this, this, and that, whatever you do, trust me, this is not going to be enough. Your mind is going to trick you to say, this is not enough. You can do better. And this is like a roller coaster, which is not going up, unfortunately, always going down without any results. Even though if you have the results, I'm going to tell you the story. This is going to be a story that I'm like, I used to work as a trainer and nutritionist in a gym back then in Los Angeles. I couldn't believe when I saw that. I have to share that with you. So a lot of different people came to me, right? Some of them was really overweight. Some of them have some whatever disease, like heart like problem. Some of them were just, having some specific goal in mind. But I'm never gonna forget that one girl, she came to me, she was about her 30s. She sit down at my office and she was looking so freaking good. I'm not kidding. Like she was looking great. Not overweight, not super skinny, a little bit of muscles. But the way she carried herself into the office, the way she sit down in a chair, it was so, you know, it was so like unacceptable to the way she looked. She was so unhappy about the way she looked. You can just read that. Her shoulders was rolling forward. She was kind of like having that hiding clothes, like not even like tight clothes. And she down there with me and I'm like looking at her like what she's doing here. And she's like, you know what? And she started telling me how she hates how she looked like, that she's super fat, that she needs to lose a lot of body fat, that she wants to put the boobs on to make them bigger, to feel more feminine. Then she needs me as a nutritionist to help her to build the muscles. Like it was a long, long, long kind of like monologue. And I listened to all of that and I couldn't believe because she really looked so good and she hated herself. And that moment I realized that whatever I do right now, because she honestly looks so good that I'm not the first person who she came to, right, for help. Whatever I do there is not going to help her to truly love herself and change. She may look amazing. And then with living that really hard time, social media time, even me, like I'm posting my pictures in bikini looking great, like having six packs, but I'm not always have those six packs, right? And most of the time I don't have them. And a lot of the time when we see that magazines, a beautiful female having the best physique, are like strong man with really great muscles, I wanted to remind you, you don't know what's on the back of it, how this person is truly feels. Because from my personal experience, as many athletes that I work with, if you look like a shredded bodybuilder, most of the time, like 90% of the time, you feel like a shit. You're always tired. You're always hungry. You overtrain. You don't do anything in your life. You're just in the gym. You're just doing your diet. And that's the truth. If we're talking about females on those magazines, if you see them super shredded with the six packs, well, they are on steroids. They cannot look like that whole year forever without specific supplementation that is tremendously affecting their health, which is going to not serve them in the long run. But you would never know. How you could know, right? We don't post that. People don't talk about that. Like the people trying to sell you the workout program, the nutrition program. I'm not about that. I never been that way. I don't appreciate that. I would never sell you anything from the first time you come to my page, to me, if you meet me or come to my website. I tell you the truth. If you wanted to look good, if you wanted to feel good, you got to do this, this, and this. This is not a magic pill. There's nothing behind that. This is true hard work and acceptance of your body, because we all different. You would never look like me. I would never look like you, right? So I just want you to remember that, because comparison is common the way always, and with things like, oh, this or that looks better, and I don't have a progress, or I don't look great. Again, as you have those thoughts in your brain, stop them. Ask yourself, is this a medicine for me, or is it distraction? Is this thought is helping me, or it's taking me away from my peaceful, connected state where I can perform my best at, but where I can be healthy, right? Because this is starts here and ends outside. So that's specifically, I wanted to talk about that. And if you felt that, give me in the chat something like self-love. Yes, I got it. I got it. I know what you're talking about. Because I wanted to ask you only one promise after this webinar is just accept whatever you can accept. What's land, let it land. But I wanted to ask you to not just listen. I want you to start invest, start do these things into your life. I really want you to. I don't want you to just listen to the webinar like, oh yeah, this is right, cool, and then you close your phone or your laptop and you're like, okay, and then, oh, I didn't do anything today, I'm so bad. I don't want you to keep talking about yourself like this. Yes, yes, self-love, yes, so true, absolutely. So I wanted to remember, I wanted to remind you, I'm sorry, I wanted to remind you to act like, after you listen to all of this, after we finish this webinar, my favor is to ask you to apply those things into your life. Try to really apply them, not just listen, not just make your decision about that. Try to apply it. See how it goes. Like whatever land right there, what you can take off, apply it, apply it. That's how you grow. That's how you evolve, right? Okay, so let's keep going forward. So self-love and self-acceptance is a first step in kind of the other things that always goes after, right? So when you are, and it's funny, when you're thinking to change, get, physically better, healthier, feel better, eat better, this is the last thing that you think about. Hold on, how do I actually think about myself? How I take care of myself? Do I love myself? Like, we don't ask those questions, and that's the first kind of a stone that you have to focus on, right? We're gonna have 5 of them. This is the first one. You wanted to write it down if you want, or remember, it starts from inside. Self-love, self-acceptance. Yes, I'm not perfect. I am a way more, I'm a way far away from being perfect, but I accept that. I truly embrace my power and my true body the way it is. And then I'm gonna move forward, right? I'm gonna get better with that love of whatever is going on with me right now. So next thing that is kind of a second stone, if we go from the top to the end, is what do you put into your body, right? And as soon as you talk about self-love, everything's gonna fall into the place, because if you love yourself truly, you're not gonna feed yourself some growth. You're not gonna give yourself something bad. You're not gonna watch TV all night. You're not gonna drink alcohol or smoke tobacco or do something like not good to you, because you love yourself. You want yourself to shine. You see? opposite side of that, guys, when you actually, like, social media, commercials on the TV tell you, you deserve this piece of cheesecake, or you deserve this burger, go on vacation, go into the 5 stars hotel, lay down, order a mojito, and don't do nothing. Isn't it funny how they turn it all opposite? Well, no. Fuck no. I don't deserve that. I deserve be healthy, eat healthy, look great, live a long, happy life. I deserve longevity. I deserve self-love. I deserve feel good. I don't deserve freaking burger or like mojito on the beach. This is not about like this is not going to bring me any good, right? So it's so interesting how they turn it all away, and then we believe that we need a vacation. We believe that we need to retire. This is like such an interesting thing. 90% of people who are retired die in the first 5 years of retirement. You can look it up. It's a research. Why is that? Because when you retired, you was just even the word, like word retirement, right? I am retired. So I'm so tired that I have to stop doing what I did and don't do nothing because I'm tired. This is like true mistake. You cannot do that. You can change your job, you can stop work for money, but if you don't do anything in your life, if you just stop, right, and you say, okay, finally I'm retired, I'm not doing nothing, immediately your mind sends a signal to your body, okay, there's nothing this on this earth that he's need or she's need, we have to stop. This is really interesting things. Unfortunately, social media and I'm not gonna say a government, this is gonna sound so stupid, but I just gonna say, like, unfortunately, all the world is right now, it's kind of against us, against our health. This is just for some reason happen to be a truth that nowadays is really hard to, first of all, find clear nutrition information. Second thing is to truly find out how to live your life in a healthy way, right? We just overflow with the things that how to make life easier, how to don't walk anywhere, how to buy things online, how to get money and don't do nothing. Well, are you really going to be happy with doing nothing, right? Well, if you hate your job, change your job. If you don't want to work anymore, don't work, but don't retired. Even the word of retirement like sounds crazy to me. When you don't want to do anything, well, it's like dying, like, right? So I just wanted to mention that for you as a first thought. So the next one, as I said, it's landed after. We wanted to eat good. We wanted to nourish our body because we truly love ourselves. So if we truly love ourselves, we have to give it to something good. And now it comes to the question, what is good? And as I was talking about a self-talk, as the self-talk could be a medicine or destruction, the same thing I want to talk about the food. So as we talk about food, we have a food as a medicine and food as a distraction, food as the fun things to do. Food there are not for good. I'm not saying it for bad. I don't like to like categorize food in like it's good or this is bad. No, this is not something I want to do with you. I'm just saying that if you eat something that's a medicine to you, it's the one thing. But there's the other category there that you eat for fun, you eat for connection, for conversation, you eat emotionally, or you eat something that you're craving, again, emotions, right? Your head is pushing you to do so. So, but food as a medicine are clearly bringing me to the plants as a medicine. And then it's not because I'm vegan. Yeah, I don't eat meat from I was 9 years old. There's a lot of reasons for that. But if you look into any research that done, that I have to mention that done not by some dairy and meat industry company, just to make sure, in your research, everything starts from plants, everything ends with plants. You're not gonna get wrong with eating plants. You can keep your meat and keep your dairy if you like feel so, but adding more plants into your food, it's just only gonna benefit you. So plants at the medicine, I show you this pyramid right here, and vegan diet food pyramid that I wanted to talk about. It's super simple. If you talk about eating plants, a lot of the time, again, social media are give us to, that idea that eating plants is hard, being plant-based is hard, you're not gonna get the proteins. This is all true lie. Nowadays, eating plants is simple. It's easier than it can be because you don't even need to grow them, right? Like, think about our ancestors. They have to grow their food. Like, that's really hard. We don't. We can go to the grocery stores and buy them. So I think it's really easy. And with plants, you can only benefit. So this pyramid is show you that the first kind of the main basic is the water. And with this being said, let's drink some water, guys. So as more water you drink, I always say is the best. Well, again, I don't have a specific number for each person. It really depends of your needs, of how much activities you do, where do you live, and how you used to drink. But I always say more is better. So start from 1 to 2 glasses of water before your each meal, and at least 1 gallon per day, including all the liquid, right? So when you drink tea, it's not water, but it's a liquid. So about 1 gallon, including all the liquid, not just water, right? If you eat soup or coffee, this is also a liquid. Oh, by the way, I have to come back there about coffee. This is an important thing to mention, but we're gonna get there later on. So next, section, the wider one, leafy greens. Leafy greens, oh my gosh. This is such a great thing for you guys. I cannot stress that enough. As more leafy greens you eat is better for you. If you don't like them tasty, if you say, oh, they taste gross, I don't like them, do leafy greens juices, mix it with the fruits, and that's awesome. If you wanted to eat it in a salad, you can find right now in grocery stores different type of greens. Prefer leafy greens. How you know it? Okay, simple. First of all, they're gonna have to have green color, and the second thing is they have to be like wide and big. Like if you see like a small small spinach, it's okay. It's a great green too, but this is not the leafy greens. Leafy greens is kale, is celery, is those are the big ones. When you take on the one like a small piece and it has a big right like a big size of leaf. That's why they call leafy greens. I hope so. I believe so. I mean, English is not my first language, so this is my guess. Why they call like this, I have no idea. So this is a foundation, and the next is fruits and vegetables. As many fruits as you can eat. This is interesting because as a nutritionist, I have to mention people with diabetes have to stay away from a lot of carbohydrates and sugars. You know that, right? So first of all, if you get to look on the research, we're talking about refined sugars. Of course, sugars from fruits and vegetables, there's not the same as the sugars from, from candies, from bakery stuff, like real sugar when you can, get it in a spoon from the store, like a white plain sugar. But in the same time, if you're going to go to a regular doctor, not a nutritionist, especially not a holistic nutritionist, usually, like most of the time, if someone has diabetes, any type, they will say, okay, stay away from fruits as well. I'm going to tell you again, my personal story. My mom, unfortunately, was diagnosed with diabetes type 2. You're going to you're gonna be maybe surprised, right? I'm a plant-based nutritionist. How my mom get diabetes? Well, my mom lived in Ukraine, far away from me, and never listened to her daughter. Of course, my mom actually struggled with overweight, so it's in my genes, to be honest. All females in my side, like in my family, are overweight. And then when I was born, my mom was saying, "This is our gene. You're gonna not deal with that. Like you're gonna be overweight." Well, the little she knows about nutrition, this is not genes, it's what you eat and how to take care of yourself. Anyways, my mom got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and that when she called me and started listening, then she really paid attention because they told her to eat so much medicine, so much, drugs, and they said it's forever. And then I help so many people reverse diabetes, especially type 2, because it's not the worst one. And they told her to don't eat any fruits. Okay, so even if you or your friends or anyone have diabetes, is not true. You can eat fruits. You have to make sure and be aware of your sugar spike as you do so. But if we're talking about berries specifically, they have a high antioxidant profile, so don't cut them off. Blueberries, raspberries, any type of berries is amazing, even with people with diabetes. If you don't have any problem with sugar, go ahead and eat any fruits. It's just an amazing variety of them everywhere. The only thing that I wanted to let you know, if you're not aware, but I'm sure you saw that in the store, that there's an organic section and not organic. And there's been so much talk about that, right? What is organic? What is not organic? Do I really have to pay more? Well, if you have that option, please buy organic, because this is really crucial. In America, in the United States, for sure, I'm not sure about whole the world, non-organic, like especially fruits and vegetables, they are spread with so much pesticides in order to grow that this is kind of not as the best option that you can buy, right? So if you have availability to organic products and there's not expensive or not as much more expensive, please choose them. Especially when we're talking about berry science, already mentioned them, because any fruits or vegetables that are you're gonna eat with the skin, think about that, right? It was pesticide, so the skin absorbed the most of that. So if you are not sure and you got, let's say, an apple that wasn't organic, just take the skin out. But it's sad because skin has so much benefits for you, right? So that's why I say buy organic if you have that option. So as you can see, foundation is water, leafy greens, fruits, and vegetables. Do you see there any nuts? Do you see there any butters, oil? No, right? So for some reason, when someone switched to the plants, they think, oh my God, I have to eat nuts because they're gonna die, because they're gonna feel hungry. I have to eat dry fruits sometimes. I don't even have those there, right? Or I have to cook with oil, or I have to like eat something instead of meat. I have to buy that fake meat in a store, like seitan's or something to put it on a plate, like some Beyond Burgers. And nothing bad with Beyond Burger company, don't get me wrong, even though I have to say that this is not clearly plant-based company, because they do their studies on rats and on small animals to see like the products as good or bad. So technically Beyond Meat is not vegan, just to let you know. And there was a lot of talk about that. But if we are talking about plant-based diet is one thing. But if we're talking about veganism, right, when you are trying to don't harm animals, you cannot like name something that was tested on animals being vegan. But I just wanted to make sure you understand, you don't have to eat those things if you don't want to. This is not the foundation of plant-based diet. Next kind of a stone is proteins, amino acids that we have to add just to make sure we are not hungry. And then just because they are so good and so tasty and so beneficial for you. So sprouts, legumes, and grains. Oh my God, it's so cheap. It's so simple, right? You can buy them for so cheap. And if we're talking about sprout, they are much more expensive, but I can tell you how to grow your sprouts at home. It's so easy. Like you can do that. I did that for a while. I'm not doing it now, to be honest, because it's require a little time. But nuts and seeds, super like simple. You can eat them every day, and this is how you're gonna have healthy fats, right? So we have saturated fats and unsaturated fats. Fats are good for you, especially for females. It's whole your nails, hair, skin. You need fats. Don't stay away from fats, but stay away from saturated fats, which is vegetables oils, which is fish oils, which is some there's in meat, right? Fats like that are going to bring up your cholesterol. But unsaturated fats, like fats from avocado, nuts, and seeds, those are really good for us. We can have them on a daily basis. If you're trying to lose weight, have them on a daily basis, but don't make them as a foundation of your diet, right? I told you, foundation, leafy greens, fruits and vegetables, not nuts and seeds. This is the second thing. And then last but not least, it's medicine food. Like I said, you can eat that, and this is really going to benefit your health. It's seaweed, it's nutritional yeast. Those two things, super simple. A lot of people who are not vegan, if you never heard about nutritional yeast, you probably are not in this vegan game for a while. I invite you to try those things. Super easy to add them into your diet and so much benefits. Like research shows crazy benefits from seaweed and nutritional yeast. I'm not going to go in deep what's exactly. You can look it up or ask me later, but I just encourage you to add those two things into your diet. It's going to be so good for you. So this is it. Simple, right? Like if you don't have any specific goal, if you just wanted to add more plants into your diet, follow this pyramid and you're going to be covered with all the essential amino acids, with all the fiber in your diet. But now I want to mention something about energy into the food. I've been in this kind of like I tried raw vegan diet for a little bit, and I cannot tell you guys, it's interesting, but it's something behind that raw foods have really more energy than cooked. Doesn't mean you have to eat raw forever, but I just invite you to at least have 60 by 40, 60 of raw products into your diet and 40 of cooked, because this is energy in the food. If you look at your plate, think about, okay, what required this food to get into my plate? Well, first of all, well, there's a require of growing, right? Someone is grow it down, probably then take it out, then harvest it, and then put it in the packages. Froze it, usually, if it's a long trip, then it's get to the store, then it's unfrozen, and then it's into your store shelf, and then you buy it, and then you come to home, and then you cut it, and you cook it, and then you eat it. So many steps, right? So energetically, your food are almost dead by that point when you cook it. So if you can skip that step, right? And let's say you got an orange, of course, if you have your own garden, you can harvest the oranges, perfect. But even if you buy it from the store and if it's an orange and you immediately eat it, right? Or it's a broccoli or it's any type of vegetable, it's just much more beneficial for you. You can feel that. I invite you to go to the farmers market if you can. Just support your local farmers, because again, nowadays we just losing real understanding of what does mean to actually eat real food, right? Even having the farmers market out there, we're going to the stores, which is eventually going to bring us to no farmers at all. And this is scary. So I really wanted to to invite you to think about where my food coming from and if I can get it better. Because if you go to a farmer market, whatever you live, and then you meet with the farmer and you like their product, you can ask them, well, how do you actually grow it? Do you use any pesticides? You can look at the person's eyes. You can feel the energy that they put into the things that they grow, and, and decide for yourself either you want to buy it or not. You have no idea where things come from in a store, right? So I really wanted to invite you to go deeper and think about, okay, where is my food are coming from? Because food can boost your energy, and then that comes from that magnetic field that anything that you put into your body is bringing to you. According to a new study, eating vegan foods are really in boosting your energy. Why is that? Well, we're going to talk about so many benefits. Simply say, just because vegan food has more raw than, standard American diet. Just because of that. Because when people go vegan, they eat more raw food. That's all, right? So that's kind of why the energy raise up. Of course, there's the other side about digestion. Your digestion work better, and then you are not feeling your body not taking too much energy for digestion. That's probably why also you have more energy. But even just eating more raw is bringing you more energy because you eat more energetic, more magnetic food, right? And also, for some of those who likes to, eat your leftovers, think about that too. Okay. If I cut an apple and I see it's already like on the one side, dark and then really bad, or this is like a tomato that was in my fridge forever and I took it out and it's almost so old, don't eat it, honestly. Like, I mean, I don't like to waste food. That's why we have to plan. That's why I encourage you to do meal planning. So you do your groceries and you know you're going to eat that, right? Simple as that. It's just that, like, this is not going to bring you anything, that food. So don't wait until then. I'm not talking about organic apples, when you see that has a little bit of something on the side and it's perfect apple. No, I'm talking those leftovers that are forever in your fridge and then in the frozen section and you take them out and you're like, okay, it's time to eat. I'm like, well, it's almost that food. What is going to bring it to you? Where it came from? How long has it been there? Think about that. Don't let yourself don't, is again coming back, you love yourself, you want to nourish yourself, don't let yourself eat that. This is not good. Your body is not gonna love it, right? Everything starts from self-love, self-acceptance, self-appreciation. So with this being said, I have some tools for you for your self-love, because a lot of the time you can hear that self-love, blah, blah, blah. What to do, how to actually love yourself, right? What's going to help you to, to get there? Super simple, but in the same time, I wanted to mention those. So simple as that. Tools you can use to help your self-loving, self-acceptance come in easier. And tools that you can use to really connect to your inner self, to start hearing your inner voice and then start understanding what is really you want to do. Where is that power that is going to push you to live your healthier, better life? So first one is meditation. And can be anything for anyone. I like to pray. Some people just like to sit down and listen to guided meditation. Whatever you prefer, what is your kind of way of meditating, practice that. And I know you're gonna say, oh, I don't have time. If you never have time for meditation, chat that say something in chat, like, yeah, this is me, never time for meditating. I've been there, girl. I know how that feels. But just 2 minutes, you can meditate even when you're driving in a car. You don't have to close your eyes. Just deep inhale, slow exhale, and couple more like that. Even just breathing, and they have that, I believe so. Any type of breathing technique like pranayama, any type of breathing in and out deeply and focusing on that breathing is gonna help you. positive affirmation. Honestly, if you hate affirmation, I'd be there. I've been not loving them at all. So first of all, you have to find a right affirmations for you, right voice, right person saying something that is, you can take it in, that can land. But the second thing is something about just get used to those. When you first time turn on the affirmation and it says, repeat after me, it feels awkward. I know that. Don't get me wrong. But if you do it once, twice, 3 times, then it's going to feel more natural. It's like anything new in life, right? Your first time start eating plants, it feels, they don't taste good. Your first time step to do an workout, it feels weird. Your body struggle, right? It's like anything in life. But I truly believe that no one have a perfect day ever. But if you start your day with affirmation and it's just gonna help you to perform your best, I think it's amazing. It's an amazing tool. I do use that and I invite you to try it out. Some days it's really hard, to put yourself together. So turn on the affirmation. And if you hate someone's voice, you can actually record your own affirmation. Say at least once to yourself, I am beautiful. I am powerful. I am amazing. I can get whatever I want. Like a couple of those things, like save it on your phone. And if you feel that moment that you are not in your best mood, even when you're driving in a car, turn it on, listen to that, repeat, listen to that, repeat. Again, feels awkward, but when you say it 5 times, feels like, oh, it's working. It's really working. Okay, next one, healthy food. We, of course, already talked about that. And next one is, what did I write here? Kins in love. That's probably Ayman's lovely self-talk, kind self-talk, right? This is what we already talked about. Like, think about how you talk about yourself and then empower yourself with the positive self-talk, kindness. I like to always mention that. See how kind you to other people. See how nice, how you're lovely. Usually people like that, people at least who I met, they're like, oh my God, they are so kind to others, but they forget about themselves. So please reverse that. The same way as you're kind to others, be to yourself. Start with self-talk, then share it to others, right? Because if we are too much out and nothing in, you're gonna burn out. And self-investment in a form of presents, and those presents can be like hiring a coach, going to a grocery store and choosing something healthy. Please, every time when you wanted to self-invest and you kind of have this, it's money is tight or I'm not sure, ask yourself, is this is going to bring me to the best version that I want to be? Is this is going to make me healthier mentally and physically? And if the answer is yes, please do so. We're never going to have enough of money. We're never going to have enough of time. We're never going to have enough of material things. Something always we want to buy. But this is not a true present to yourself. A true present in yourself is an investing, is becoming a better version of yourself. And if you truly understand that, that's the power key of involvement. This is the power key of happiness. Because as I said, we have so many material things we can buy, but those material things they are priceless. They're not going to bring us anything. It's like nails. I have 1,000 of girls I know. I mean, really 1,000, I believe. Okay, maybe 100. Too much of 1,000, who'd always do nails. Like they go to a nails technician like every 2 weeks. I just did my nails though. Yeah, they look pretty. Usually I don't have them though. But anyways, and then when I invite them for the workout, they say to me, I don't have time. I have kids. Or I don't have time. I have to work. Or I don't have time. I have a busy schedule. And I'm like, seriously, you have your nails done. It's going to take you 2 hours to do those, at least. Plus driving there and back. and you don't have time to invest in your workout, you don't have time to cook your meals. Seriously? Well, I don't know. Tell me in the chat, please, girls, tell me in the chat. Is this only to me? Like, it just doesn't make freaking sense. I'm like, how is that freaking possible? Or those eyelashes, right? Oh, like, okay, we're gonna do Botox everywhere. But is really gonna help you to get healthier? No, freaking not. And it's just so funny. So yeah, I see your reactions. Yes, yes. Hallelujah. I'm not alone who's seeing this. Like if you are overweight and you have those perfect manicure or pedicure and you feel like it's going to bring you good. I mean, I like when females take care of themselves. Don't get me wrong. I like when you have nice manicure, you feel better, but you can feel better forever, not only until you see your nail technician, right? So choose the right investments that you can make into yourself, right? Don't try to spend your money on something that is not going to bring you longevity, and real investment is always better. Okay, so now physical activities. This is also helping you to love yourself. It's even in the research. If we are sitting all day alone and not moving around, don't do anything, we are not really clearly, mindfully can speak clearly about ourselves. We are start to hate ourselves. It's like a self-doubt that you have that like, oh, it's a whole day I'm sitting or laying down. So really any physical activities can help. Like if you have no clue how to work out or you don't want to do it, just getting outside, just doing anything. And then small tip from me, like a pro tip, I like to always challenge myself with something new. So it doesn't mean I'm gonna do jujitsu forever, but if I never done jujitsu, I'm like, okay, today I don't feel like I'm working out. I have time. What are you gonna do? Sign up for something that you never try. Like it's gonna feel so interesting because you always kind of step out from your comfort zone, right? I am a like bodybuilder. I work out. Yeah, I do yoga. I am a yoga teacher as well, but jiu-jitsu, like just as an example, right? What? Jiu-jitsu. Oh, I love my nails getting done. Yeah, I know. I love it too. But you also love to work out and you love to eat healthier, right? It's not like an opposite thing. I'm just saying it as an example, just because I know like sometimes it's so funny. Like, like when people, I don't have time to do anything, but my nails are done, my eyelashes are here, I have a perfect highlights in my hair. And I'm like, seriously, okay, there's something behind that. So physical activities and just challenge yourself. Do something new. Do something new at least once a month. It's just gonna feel so good to overcome that. I make a video about that on my Instagram page, and a lot of people are actually resonate with that. So every time when you show up for yourself and do something new, you kind of like mindfully telling yourself that you can do it. It feels absolutely amazing as soon as you overcome that. And then your brain are like saving that information that you actually powerful and you can do whatever you possibly can. So in the life, when we get faced into the hard situation with anything, your mind remember that, and it's so much more easier than to overcome those situations. It's just like why people do cold plunge or standing on nails or doing hard things. I don't know, girls, but it's something powerful beyond just doing the workout. Because when something is hard physically and you take in your mental power to overcome that, you feel like you just, hike the mountain. But this is not just the one moment of feeling. Then when really hard things come in life, you not only physically, emotionally, so much more stronger so you can overcome that. That's the kind of a power of all of this. This is why I love working out. This is why I like to like pushing people to get there, because when you overcome that physical pain, that physical discomfort, right? When you show up for the class you never done, or you're doing like 20 of reps of hip thrust and it's so hard, but you finish it. you think about it's just a workout, but in the end of the day, it's not just a workout. Trust me, it's the physical, but it's mindful change that happening in your brain that is helping you to get stronger. And in the end of the day, that's so much more important than only physical, right? Other things that you can do is journaling. Yeah, journal, please journal. I really, oh, this is not something I want to do. I always want to do that. I really see the benefit of that. And if you're already in my stage ready game plan, if you work with me, you know, I do invite you to journaling all the time. When you journal, is something magical happen. You kind of getting out anything out. It's gonna be so stupid. Sometimes I journal and I don't have any idea. Like I opened my journal. I was doing journaling all this week before this webinar, and I was like getting ready for the webinar. And some days I open it up and I'm like, I have nothing to write about. So if you open your journal and that's happened to you, ask yourself, how do I feel? That's it. Write, how do you feel? Because we always feel something. And that's a good start point. Nothing happened in your life. Your life is so boring, but you feel something about that. And this is going to help you start. And you will see in the days when I feel like I'm not about journaling, I actually journal the most. And then the last here as a tool, there's a much more. I just mentioned here, like one of my favorite tools is a friend, is a mentor. It's some type of support, right? So imagine you decide to make that change. You wanted to truly fall in love with yourself. How cool is that sound? Fell in love with yourself and then change your life for better, get healthier. But imagine there's no support around. Worst case scenario, there is actually pressure saying, you cannot do it. You don't have time for that. You don't have money for that. Blah, 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 blah. Will be so hard. So I invite you to find mentor, friend, coach. If you have me on your side, great. I mean, you always have me on your side. Whatever you are in the world, guys, I'm really here for you. But if you can find that support, that's why I do that. That's why I create that Woman Fit Vegan Club where we can connect and support each other. And it's actually so much more easier when you have that support and truly believe that I'm a coach, but trust me, guys, I rely on you. I rely on my clients. You are my support. I support you. You support me, right? It's a kind of like a game for all of us. So as well as that, try to find those communities, right? Like the community that I invite in you, our Fit Club of Women's, and you can find those communities anywhere. Like again, as you put in yourself outside of your comfort zone, as you go to those classes that you never try, as you see any invitation coming to your way, and if you see it's about health, it's about self-development, take those. Please do. Don't say I don't have time for that. Well, for what you have time then, right? You have to always look for that connection. Be open for that. Because if you are not, if you kind of close in all your mind and then you are, by yourself, it's so much more harder to actually show up for yourself. Because we are the humans, all the humans, we need that connection. Uh, it's interesting. There's a book I'm reading right now about blue zones. If you don't ever heard, blue zones is there's a specific zones in our planet where people live so much more longer than in the other part of the planet. And then, of course, that's because I'm vegan, you're gonna say, but they eat mostly plant-based. They exercise, they not stress at all. But what I really like about that book, what's opened my mind to, because I know if you exercise, if you eat plant-based, you will live much longer, right? And if you don't stress. But I didn't know about the community part. So all those blue zones are have the community part. So they have support. Either it's a family support or either it's a friends, church, any type of like a group that together doing something and supporting each other. Like people live until hundreds and even longer, and not just live, they are physically and mentally are healthy, right? just because there's something out there or someone that are need them, they know that they have to show up for them. It's just like something magical with that. I think it's important to remember. Okay, now we go into the deep with you about plants, and we're going to talk about some of those kind of like, you know, I would say, um, like myths about the plants that you may heard, and then that's you may, when you heard, um, take it as a serious thing. And I just wanted to clear up those. But before we get started, since we kind of wrap it out the section of the self-love and we talk about the tools that we can use, I prepare a meditation. So I want you to try it out. As a small break, we're going to do some meditation together. I'm sure it's going to be awesome to take a break of me talking. I'm sure you're already tired of that. So just find a comfortable position, please. You can be seated, doesn't need to lay down or anything. It's going to be self-love meditation that I will share with you guys here. I will turn on, again, I like guided meditations sometimes, so it's super good ones. Let's just find comfortable position. I will share my screen with you one more time.
Hi, and welcome to this meditation.
Close your eyes and listen.
I'd like to invite you to gently close your eyes and take a nice, slow, deep breath in, deeper than you've taken all day so far. And as you exhale, concentrate on the sound of my voice, allowing it to ground you into the present moment. Give yourself permission right now to focus on you, making yourself your first priority. There's nowhere else you need to be. There's nothing else you need to be doing except giving yourself this time for your own care, for your own well-being. Continue breathing, allowing each inhale to be a bit deeper than the one before it. Feeling your lungs expand out as you inhale, and feeling everything contract back in as you exhale. Returning your breath now to its normal pattern and its normal rhythm. But continue to follow the journey of your breath through your entire body. Feeling it weave in and out of your muscles and your cells. Allowing it to still you and ease any tension or tightness you may be feeling. Now I'd like you to turn your attention to the bottom half of your body. Everything from your hips all the way down to the tips of your toes. Breathing into them. Noticing any judgments that come up about any of these areas. We all have parts of our body that we wish were different, but instead of judging them, now turn your focus to sending love and appreciation into these areas. Shifting your focus now to your upper body, from your stomach to the crown of your head. Feeling into these areas, noticing any tension or tightness you may be having. Breathing into that area to help it release. Seeing any judgments that come up in these areas. And gently replacing that judgment with love and appreciation. Now begin to call to mind other parts of yourself that you've held in judgment in the past. Maybe a thought pattern or behavior you exhibited. Maybe it was a choice you made or something you said you wish you could take back. Maybe a time where you felt you could have handled something better. And look at it from a place of total curiosity. Watch the judgment come up because it will. And watch the stories that you've told yourself about the situation come up because they will too. And then gently let those go and offer yourself forgiveness. Knowing that you were doing the best you could at that time. Now, as we move into the silent part of the meditation, continue this journey on your own, calling to mind any parts of yourself that you hold in judgment. And giving them unconditional love, acceptance, and forgiveness.
As you exhale, getting back here. So good. I like that guided meditation. You feel I even start talking differently. It's so good. It's bringing so much calmness, like, right? So much good, positive, and peaceful energy. I use for this specific meditation and for a lot of the ones that I have into my program, I use always, if it's a guided meditation, if it's not by me, I use this channel in YouTube. It's called Guided Meditation, super simple. So you can find so many good, options there that I would like you to try it out. Or don't forget, you have in the fitness app, if you're working with me, you have those as well. You just have to do them. And the best ways to do them is just schedule them. Like it's 10 minutes max, sometimes it's 5. And you can just turn on AirPods anywhere, find a quiet corner, close your eyes, and sit there. And only 5 to 10 minutes can change whole directly of your day, right? I like that one specifically for today because I like that it's talking about self-love, and I think it was magical. Thank you for joining me. Or if you're gonna watch the replay, you will join it later on. So let's come back to the topic we were talking about. So starting from the self-love, because we love ourselves, we want to nourish ourselves. But there's so much misconception out there, right, in social media about plants. Is there plants that has all the proteins in them? Do we have to supplement? So much, things that are trying to make you worry and pushing you in the right or wrong directions all the time. So I wanted to clear out those. First of all, the first number one, the one is always, always, oh my God, coming to discussion is does the plants have all the essential amino acids? Okay, so I will gonna share my screen with you again, of course, and show you a clear like explanation and a proof that all the plants have all the essential amino acids, and it's absolutely simple. So first of all, of course, for people who are not familiar, because if you're working with me, you probably heard that already. But if you're first time ever hear amino acids, what is that? Amino acids. So amino acids are the building blocks of protein. And then the picture I present here is clearly show you the math. So there's 9 essential amino acids that we might consume in our diet. They are essential because our body does not produce them, right? So we have to find them into the diet. You can name them, it's leucine, leucine, and methionine. Those are 3 are essential, but there's 9 of them actually. And all the plants contain all the essential amino acids just in a different amounts, okay? So why is that even like a topic for discussion then? Well, it's just because if we are looking on animal proteins, animals proteins have all the essential amino acids in a perfect profile in a one specific, let's say, piece of chicken or piece of beef, right? So if you take a part of animal and you do look at how much essential amino acids there, they are there in a perfect profile, just like we have, right? Just like we have when we consume them. But if we're talking about plants, plants has all the essential amino acids, but in a different variety, right? So it's going to be a little more of leucine in the broccoli, a little more of methionine in chia seeds or something like that, right? Just like an example. So when we are looking at that, well, you may question it. Oh my God, so it's mean I have to know in which specific plant foods, which specific amino acids I consume, so I will have the perfect amount? Of course not. This is going to be too hard, and no one ever need that because our body are super smart. What you need is just to eat variety of plants and vegetables, so you will be covered with your essential amino acids. And no one ever, I don't know any person that eats only rice or only beans all day long, right? So we all eat variety of food, so we just don't have to worry about amino acids as much. Then, do we actually have to worry about protein as much? No, we don't. In this slide, I put down recommended dietary amount of protein. This is recommended by whole United States medicine, like it's only 0.8 gram per kilogram of body weight. 0.8 gram per kilogram of body weight. So, like, why we even talk about that then? Like, if you just eat one meal a day and it at least has 45 gram of protein and you weigh anywhere between 110 to 150 pounds, you will get that 0.8 gram, right? But of course, no one is like, no one is actually know this. What we know is when we like grow up, we always hear that you need protein to grow up. You need protein to build your muscle. You need protein to be healthy. You need to drink milk to get calcium. This is just so much of bullshit out there. Honestly, it's a bullshit. You don't have to drink whole milk to get your calcium. Actually, there's no calcium in whole milk that you buy in the store, to be honest. So this is true lie, as well as the protein. Yes, protein intake is important, but is not as important as it actually right now in the market, right? So if you are curious how much protein you need to eat, I always here to help you, but you can count that by yourself. It's super simple. Take 1.6 to 2 gram, because if you're looking to build muscles and if you are plant-based, 0.8 is great, but I recommend 1.6 at least, just to make sure you are not hungry, that you are satisfied, that you are building the muscles, having healthy bones, skin, nails, hair, right? So you take your weight in kilograms, 1.6, and then here we go. You're gonna get this number. Big, huge bodybuilders, like so many of them are plant-based. You can see they all have that 2 grams, maybe 2.5 of protein a day, and then they don't have any problem. So I think it's like more the obsessions out there about the protein. The other mistake or misconception, I don't want to say mistake, it's absorption of the plant protein. Again, there are saying to us sometimes that plant proteins is not absorbing in the same way as the meat protein. That when you eat plants, they're not 100% absorbed into your body the same way as the animal or dairy protein. So research shows if you look on total protein digestibility, there's a difference between animal and plant protein. There's this difference anywhere between 2 to 3%. So it's just a really small difference. Also, I have to mention, when they do those studies, they are doing studies on animals, not on people, unfortunately. So we have a little different digestibility tract than animals, and we cook our meals usually, right? We eat about 60% raw if you plant-based, but all the proteins, usually if it's legumes, you cook them. So that study are not clearly going to show you, the truth. But even with this, having 3% difference is just such a small amount to be worried about. So don't worry about that. This score is show you that. So this is a 2 digestibility systems, PDCAS and DIAS. And then here we can see that eggs or milk protein, almost same digestibility as soy protein isolate. Beef actually has lower digestibility effect, and chickpeas is higher than beef. So it's like not really something you want to worry about. The next thing is what plant-based diet is really are. Do we actually know what to eat? Well, if you are curious, we already talked about that pyramid, right? You remember? So here I just wanted to say it again, just to make sure you are not gonna forget that plant-based diet is not French fries, is not Oreo. This is not the frozen meats in the frozen section, just to make sure you remember and tell your friend. This is whole grains, nuts and seeds, vegetables, fruits, and spices. Please remember that, right? Like a lot of the time we are thinking about plant-based diet and it's so popular now. It's just getting crazy popular, and I should be happy about that as a plant-based nutritionist. But to be honest, I am not happy about that just because they're not telling you the truth. Again, they turn in the plant-based diet in the opposite way and trying to make money of making those fake sausages and burgers, naming the pizza vegan just because it has vegan cheese on it. But it's still pizza, okay? It still doesn't have any fiber. It still doesn't have any greens, leafy greens, or vegetables and fruits, right? So just make sure you remember that, right? Don't get into that trend like of veganism just for the name of it. Because it's just really crushing the health. And then people are gonna say, oh, I tried vegan diet and it's, I felt terrible. I have no energy. Well, that's just because you didn't actually eat the right real protein vegan diet, right? So with this being said, I wanted to point out why I want you to try more plants into your diet versus animals. Of course, there's a health benefits, but other than health benefits, there's some other benefits that I have to mention as just truly believer of this is so important. So first of all, plant-based diet is great for your health, overall health, right? So making switch from animals to plants, you are lowering your chances of getting heart disease, diabetes, dementia, high cholesterol, and just living longer life. Like we're talking about those blue zones, remember? So it's such a great benefits for your health, but then you have a benefits into your recovery. I'm sure if you already tried plant-based diet, you probably felt that you recover faster. Numerous studies shown that anti-inflammation diet can help you decrease soreness, reduce muscles soreness, and support your overall health. So anti-inflammatory diet, you probably heard that. It's vegan diet. It's vegan diet. That's all, right? So as more plants you eat, as less animal products, as less inflammation you're gonna have. But these benefit, next one that I have here, I have to mention that, well, you're gonna save animals, and that's a great benefit of eating vegan, because so much animals are suffer right there. I'm gonna be honest with you guys completely. Story time. I wasn't born vegan, right? So I was born in Ukrainian family. My father from the village. Until I get 9, I used to eat all the animals and milk and dairy, even though I didn't feel about that good. But anyways, I remember when I was a child and I was in the village with my grandmother, she was taking the milk from the cow, given to me to drink. First of all, she'd take the milk only when the child of the cow, right, then the small one is already ate, and then she'd take the rest. And that I saw in my eyes, okay, that's the milk, even though from the nutrition perspective, it doesn't have any benefits from me, to be honest, because we animals, the only one species who actually drink not our mom milk. But just seeing that picture in my mind is giving me so much pleasure and joy. But then now, slaughterhouses, the cows that are get pregnant with specific drugs, that they are taking the babies out from the cow to take the milk, right? And that this cow is suffering for the rest of their life. Remember, we talked about energy. So even if you don't believe that the animals suffer, or you don't care, even though I don't believe you do, but even if that is not hurting you, think about the energy that you get from consuming that specific milk. The same with the meat, the same with the cheese. That's energy from that curiosity, that, that the end of the life was so bad. Like you consuming that, and then we as a society suffering from so much of depression. We suffering from anxiety, and then we question why. As for me, it's a clear connection. We eat we eat energetically food that are bringing so much anxiety into us, right? So you're not only going to help your health if you eat plants, you will also going to save animals, and I don't even know how to say that. And you will not gonna put into your body something that energetically was suffering. I guess that's the sentence I want to say. I think it's important to remember, because of course, if we're looking on a piece of meat in a plate, perfectly, placed with some spices or cheese, especially cheese, because cheese has some some effect on your brain. It's giving you that pleasure that is like pushing you to come back. Cheese and sugar has the same effect to your brain. So just let you know, like if you have a cheese addiction, is like you having a drug addiction. It's the same. Your brain doesn't have that difference. So that's why. But when we look at that, we don't really clearly remember where that milk came from. What's going on in the slaughterhouses, right? And then you may not gonna believe me, but because I have so many plant-based activists that I know, government is keeping you that information from you. My friends, plant-based activists, are going through the jail because they speak out, because they go into protest, because they are saying the truth, because they are showing what's going on in the slaughterhouses. And it's just so crazy. Nowadays, someone is going into the jail because they are saying the truth in United States of America, right? But that's what's going on. So every time when you spend your dollar on something, you either say yes to that and then you want to more that in the world, or you say no, right? So I invite you to remember where your food coming from, what energy it has, and spend your money on supporting local farmers that are growing a great plant-based products instead of going to the store and supporting the slaughterhouses that are ruining your planet, that are going to not benefit in your health, and then they are gonna put the animals into suffering, right? So just wanted to remind you that. And then as we come to the planet, the last I put here for saving our planet. So changing your diet to avoid animal products, you reduce your emission on the global consumer for 28%, land usage by 75, and water pollution by 60. I remember there was a trend in internet. I don't know if you remember that. There was like talking about the water pollution, that we have to save water, and they were talking about taking the quick showers. And I was laughing because you can reduce so much water just by stop eating meat, and then quick shower is not gonna help with anything. Like this, the amount of water you save by taking like 10-minute shower or 5-minute shower instead of like a bath are not comparable to the amount of water you can save, but just stop eating meat, you know? So don't forget about that, because our planet are clearly suffering. Like it's just not even a news anymore. It's so many films coming out about this. I can give you a recommendation, guys, but I think you are aware. If you're here with me, you are ready to change. You are aware of that. So type in the chat for me, I am aware and I am ready to apply those things in my life. So type in the chat, I'm ready, I'm aware, whatever you prefer. Let me know that you're here, you are hearing me, and this is landing to you. I want to just have that feedback. I want to make sure that what I'm trying to explain it to you almost 2 hours already is at least something there is landing and you are ready to apply that into your life. If it is, I'm so happy. Thank you so much for saying that in the chat. I see it. I love it. Perfect. Perfect. So now we come into kind of my favorite section. So we almost there. We're almost done of the things that I prepared to talk about. But I wanted to know, is there's any questions that you guys have? So I will unmute you and you can ask me if anything. So raise your hand in the chat if you wanted to ask anything, because I give you a homework before you register to this webinar. And if you're gonna watch that online afterwards, you may just send me your questions in my DMs. But if you're here and you have something to say, just raise your hand in the chat. If you don't have any question, it's fine too, because I try my best to prepare this presentation, to prepare this webinar in the way that you're not going to have questions actually. But if you have, so please tell me in the chat. And it's a beautiful Saturday in Hawaii. So I wanted to get done with it as quickly as possible. So I don't see any questions right here, which is great. So with this being said, I'm gonna kind of like finish up this with a little bit of, remembering what we talk about, to just make sure you walk away after this seminar, I'm ready to change with knowing what to do, right? So I wanted to, first of all, shout out you guys and say thank you so much for being here with me or watching that after. And then it tells me a lot about you. You're already ready to take a step and do something better in this world, not only for you, for the planet, because every time with one person changing, I truly believe that we are changing the whole planet because we all connected, right? So while you getting better, healthier, eating better, happier, loving yourself, you have the same energy that you are sharing to the other people around your circle. So you're changing the collective, and people around you will start to change as well. You will see that. So first of all, today you're going to walk away with remembering about self-love and self-acceptance, right? My main focus here is to remind you that everything starts from your self-love right here in your brain and in your heart. If you connect your brain to your heart with a true self-acceptance and love, the way you are right now, that's when changes start. That's when you truly want to eat something good, do something good, right, for yourself. So self-love and self-acceptance, we have so many tools that we mentioned today that you can use and you can apply into your daily life in order to do so. And if you catch up yourself on negative self-talk, remember, medicine, your words, even in your thoughts, are powerful. So what you think or what you say, is it medicine or it's a distraction? If it's medicine, great, pour into it, give it more. If it's a distraction, disappointment, if it's something that doesn't feel good, and you will know it inside of your gut, you will know it, doesn't feel good, especially from the people around. Surround yourself with people that are support and love you, but you can only do that starting from inside, right? So stop your self-talk, come back to the medicine. If you feel like you are getting into that bad mood of talking about yourself or thinking about yourself not in the best way, that are not beneficial for you, straight away come back to the self-acceptance, self-love. Yes, you're not perfect, but you are doing something to get better, and you will love yourself the way you are because you're unique, and that's what's make you so good, right? So next thing that I wanted to mention is, yes, plants is a medicine. And to eat in plants and to add more plants into your diet, doesn't matter with what goal you have, it's so easy. It's easy. Remember that pyramid that I showed you? Start with water, then leafy greens, that fruits and vegetables, finish with some legumes, nuts, and seeds. And two things that I want you to try it out, at least for a couple of next weeks, is nutritional yeast and some seaweed. So those are two things that are really going to benefit your health. So don't forget about those. The more protein you eat is not always the better. Eat enough, right? The next thing that I want you to walk away, that this is really too much of the talk about protein right there. And then funny enough, they don't talk about we eat too much oil. They don't talk about we eat too much processed food. They are trying to push us to eat even more, either it's about plant-based or not, right? So just remember, you don't need to eat so much protein as they talk about. You know your number, and it's easy to achieve just by eating a variety of fruits and vegetables. You know, it seems to me, if I look into the history of United States for the last 30 years, people just eat more food in general. So it seems to me that by this talk, they just trying to push us just keep eating more and more and more and more. So we can keep producing more. So you can keep spending more money, and then you can keep getting more disease, and then you keep getting to the doctor to get the pill to, so it's a full circle, right? And I just want you to like be aware of that. Like just know it's not something I need to focus or worry about. I have enough of protein. It's just absolutely easy to observe. And then remember about the energy, right? Of the energy of food that you eat. So 60 or even more of food, if you can, eat raw. It's just gonna have that energetic feel that is gonna nourish you. Remember about thinking where my food came from. Can I control it? Of course, we don't live in a perfect like world. It's not a perfect society. Sometimes we cannot control that, but what things I can control in order to make sure I support my local farmers, I do know where my food coming from, and it's as best as I possibly can make for me right now. And also, of course, I want to remind you by going plant-based with all these health benefits that we already mentioned, right? You're gonna change this world. You will get animals out of the slaughterhouse. You will not support animal cruelty, and our climate, water pollution, everything is just gonna get better. And I cannot express enough this part of whole this system, just because it may seem so small. Like, it's like the whole story of my life. I thought when I first realized that what's going on in society and, you know, in the planet because of consuming meat and dairy, I thought, well, what can I do? Right? My foot are so small, my arms are tight. Like, with this being said, I changed lives of over 1,000 of like females all over the world. And you can be part of that because you think you're small, but your small change, my small change, her small change, right? And then we whole as a society moving into the different direction. And we can really change that. We can truly change that. So yeah, that's that's about it. I don't have anything else. I want you to walk away inspired. I want you to walk away to remembering that you are amazing, unique, love yourself, and keep going. Keep, you know, keep stepping out from that comfort zone. As soon as that feels comfortable to you, look for something else. That's the life. Don't look for retirement, please. Let's look for something more fun. Love you guys. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Have an amazing rest of your day.